Part 1. At the beginning, I would like to apologize to the esteemed listener that I will not be reading this short essay in my own voice. I have a few reasons for this. Firstly, I am describing my own story and would like to remain anonymous for now. Additionally, I reside in Europe and English is not my first language, so my accent may create additional barriers in mutual understanding for some of us. In the end, the content I want to convey is important, and the means of delivery is secondary. Thank you for understanding. I am returning from the hospital. My wife is driving because after the surgery that took place just 2 days ago, I will not be able to operate my right leg for some time. Actually, I feel like the blood from the latest cut and almost sutured thigh vein has just started leaking into the dressing. It is flowing inside, coagulating in the muscles and under the skin, creating a blood clot that I will be treating for weeks. They are giving me some blood-thinning drugs causing wounds to heal longer. I had a cryoablation procedure to eliminate the causes of atrial fibrillation, which turned my life upside down exactly 2 months ago. The surgery was not entirely successful, so they gave me an electric shock to stabilize my heart in the so-called cardioversion procedure. Well, on top of that, it was also discovered that my heart issues were more complicated than just the atrial fibrillations. I also had heart failure that was discovered at the same time. Unfortunately, there's nothing we could do about it right now, and I'd have to make some major changes to my lifestyle. It's funny because just 2 months ago, I considered myself immortal. I was working long hours every day in my own company. After work, I would spend a few hours running stock market strategies to try and reach my financial goals faster. On top of that, I exercised 5 or 6 times a week, not to mention my family life and obligations. I hadn't been sick for years, not even a simple cold affected me. I ate healthily, I had a normal body weight, and my blood pressure was super good. What could ever happen to me? I remember one of the first lectures in my MBA studies, years ago, where the lecturer told us, you can work like crazy, you can be addicted to it, but you can't cheat health. Eventually, it will catch up to you, maybe at the least expected moment. You can ignore the symptoms it gives you for a while if you're lucky, but that doesn't mean the problem will go away on its own. As a physicist, I should know that the conservation of energy principle is the most basic, unchanging, and always functioning principle in the universe. There can be no exceptions to it. You can't constantly drain energy from the system without replenishing it. Eventually, the reserves will run out as the balance must be preserved. Our bodies eventually will demand their dues. I remember watching an interview with Daniel Craig after his successful portrayal of Agent 007, where he mentioned that he needed time to rest and recover his body after the strict diet he followed to look good on the film set. I won't mention what I thought about his statement at the time, but it seemed unbelievable to me that someone who had worked so hard to get himself to such a good shape, especially at his age, would now want to relax just because the film had finished. I saw it as a waste, not only of resources but also of mental capital that he must have had invested in transforming his body. What a fool I was, how I managed to program myself to such a degree, to keep saying, go forward, work longer, work harder. Only 2 more years, maybe 3, make it 5, and I'll be able to retire. But not now, not yet. Now, when I'm tired after work, it's only a mental fatigue, right? And I go to train, to work out, to blow off steam. That's how it was instilled in me, or that's what I told myself, that's how I programmed myself. After a killer Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training session that's so tough I can't sleep at night, I am jumping into an ice-cold bath and I feel reborn. It's nothing. I can do everything. I am unbeatable. Or yet in winters, ice swimming is one of life hacks for me. After all, I just have to reach that next milestone and then I'll be happy, fulfilled, and then it will be enough. And when, after hard work, I achieve it, it seems so trivial, so insignificant, so easy that it's almost stupid. And I want more and more. And when I already have more, guess what I want? Even more. So I am coming back from the hospital and reading on my phone. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not, but remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. How is it possible that this quote is appearing now? Is it a coincidence that Google is showing me this quote, making the wake-up call that is happening to me reach every cell of my body? It jumps between the axons of neurons in my brain and floods me with a wave of understanding and regret. It's too late. One more time. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not, but remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. It's too late. Is it really too late for me? I returned, patched up my leg. I'm sitting on a swing on the porch of the house and rocking to the rhythm of this thought. Do not spoil what you have. And I really have a lot, and not just in the material sense of this word. And only now, after what happened to me, am I so grateful for it. Why did I never thank anyone for it? I always thought that what I achieved was my own merit, my own work, and my own sacrifices. What a nonsense. Where is my other half, my wife who has always been with me, and where is the family? And their sacrifices too. Children who see their father in breaks between meetings or after work, as he hurries down the corridor repeating like a zombie that he has another important call in a moment, and now he's just leaving his office in a hurry to grab a cup of water or coffee. Another time, moved by a sense of duty, he teaches them math or other technical subjects. Or still, when he's half alive, he tries to play with his son with Lego blocks, falling asleep between placing one block over another. He has time only for a week of summer holidays that the whole family looks forward to, working hard all year long. Yes, it was me, father of 3, who pushed the magical pause button on the remote, freezing the needs of himself and his family, in order to rush forward, in a frenzied pursuit of success. Forward just one more year, just 2 more, just a little while, and then we'll have time for everything. Once, I stood in the kitchen of my house and looked at the newly planted juniper trees outside the window. They were so small, barely reaching my waist. I thought to myself, it would be nice if they grew so tall that they matched the height of the fence. They would separate us from the neighbors and create such a nice microclimate in our garden. Today, I stand in the same window and the junipers are 3 times bigger than the fence surrounding the house. And I am 14 years older and still thinking the same way as I was thinking when I planted those 305 trees around the fence. The same mind that was programmed years ago to work as hard as it can for some imaginary goals that never going to be reached, the same mind but older, still thinks to work harder, to try harder, another 2 years, max 5. This mind still says, you're still young. It doesn't matter that you just damaged your heart, it will last a little longer. Medicine has these things figured out, there are possibilities for its repair. And if not, there is always the possibility of a pacemaker or something else. I'm just sitting in the garden gazebo. It's cold, I'm warming my hands on a hot cup of coffee, looking at the steam rising from the drink. I'm present in this moment, just living in this very moment. And for a moment, I am happy. I managed to carefully brew this drink, a perfect extraction from the highest quality specialty coffee. Not too bitter, not too sour, slightly sweet. I taste a hint of caramel and chocolate in it. It's so delicious. And I'm just present in this moment. Don't ruin what you have by wanting what you don't have, but remember that what you have now was once something you only hoped for. Maybe this is the way out for me in these difficult times. To be present in moments like this, to just be present in life. I never lived in the past, I always lived in the future. I was never present in the very happening moment. Majority of my professional life, I hit pause, snooze button on the remote and kept going forward, and kept pushing. Time passed, the grass grew in the garden, the seasons changed relentlessly, at the company we started and then finished more projects. The kids grew up, I had everything to really live, fully live, but never took the time to truly appreciate and enjoy it. The coffee is cooling down quickly. It is getting cold. Winter has come to this part of Europe. I'm going to write down the thoughts that are rushing through my head. I won't waste this wake-up call, I'm still young after all. Maybe someone will read this, maybe they'll watch this video, maybe it'll reach someone, maybe it's not too late for them. Maybe you, dear reader, are the same workaholic with impossible ambitions as me was. Maybe you came across this material because you're looking for change in your life. Maybe you're just looking but don't really want to change anything. Maybe you'll never change anything, maybe you'll run out of time and it'll be too late for you. Maybe you won't be lucky enough to live to the moment when you realize that you have everything you could have dreamed of. But I hope that's not true. I hope that you will make the most of every moment and appreciate what you have while you have it. Life is simply too short to waste on things that don't truly matter. It is never too late to start living here in this very moment and with gratitude and joy. As for me, I don't know yet how to live in the moment, but I'm determined to figure it out, and I firmly believe I'll succeed. It may take some time, and it may require untying a few connections in this stubborn brain, but I won't give up until I get there. It's a long road ahead and it's certainly not all roses, and I can't believe I'm saying this. Maybe the destination matters, but the journey itself is equally or even more important. It's just a slogan, I know. I've always disregarded such slogans, but maybe this time I'll give it a chance. This story does not end here, and I believe it's just a beginning. A beginning of the reflection on my previous mindset. Mindset of ignoring mine own health and pushing to the limits. The sudden realization of the importance of taking care of mine own well-being, as health is something that cannot be cheated. As I look back on my journey and past mistakes, I also look forward to the future and making changes to the lifestyle to work towards finding a better balance in my life. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this short movie. Have a great time ahead and hope to meet you soon in next part of my journey of achieving harmony in life.